Let's go back to that earlier story about the ANC. It suspended former Secretary General Ace Magashule, given 7 days now to explain why he should not be expelled. This is after he was found guilty of contravening the ANC's constitution. Magashule failed to apologize when he tried to unilaterally suspend party president Cyril Ramaphosa. ANC Veterans League convener Snuki Zikalala joins us now for more. A very good evening to you, sir. Grateful for your time. Has the party made the right call here?
Yeah, good evening, Timotile. In our view, the party has made a correct decision, especially the disciplinary committee of the African National Congress. It's a correct decision, and so we support it because it's unacceptable that an individual can violate all constitutional imperatives of the ANC and decide on his own that he wants to discipline the president or expel the president. It's unacceptable, and it's really unforgivable. And so we comment and we support the decision of the ANC Disciplinary Committee. And of course, we live in a constitutional democracy, and the African National Congress constitution does give an individual the right to appeal, or the right to say he needs a further hearing if he needs to. But we support the decision because discipline is of utmost importance in any organization. Because the organization without discipline, it will definitely fall apart.
Why is expulsion or possible expulsion the best way to deal with Ace Magashule's transgression in this regard?
It's not about Ace Magashule. It's about the question of arrogance. It's a question of him not showing remorse. He kept on saying that he had the right to do so. But in our constitution, it states it very clear. No individual, it doesn't matter who you are, you have the right to expel any individual, especially the president, members of the National Executive Committee, or any member of the party. You don't have that. In a private company, that can happen, not in a democratic organization. And so he should have shown remorse. He should have apologized because he was given that opportunity to do so, but he didn't do so. And so what else can the organization do? As you know, that we are facing serious problems of discipline within the African National Congress, where you have members of the organization defying the party line when we say that don't vote with the other parties on the issues that we put on the table. Some of them defy the organization. And so it's important that this sets an example that no matter how high you are in the structures of the organization, if you falter, the organization will take discipline against you.
What should happen then if this decision and Magashule's possible suspension, or expulsion goes ahead, in fact strengthens the resolve of those who had supported him through the process? Should they too be expelled by the ANC?
No, as the African National Congress, you join the organization as an individual. You don't join it as a group. You join it as an individual. And so if they want they are sympathizing with him, they want to leave the organization, is their choice. Because people must be committed to the values and the principles of the organization. Not people should commit themselves to one individual. You did not join the organization because of an individual. You are not a member of another member. You are there because you joined the organization as an individual. You subscribe to its constitutional values. You are the one who will say that you want to build structures of the organization. You want to be part and parcel of communities where you live, and also to promote the values of the ANC as an individual. You don't join it because of another person.
People may not join the ANC because of other people, but once they are in the African National Congress, we've seen how many tend to pick sides known in the organization as factions. Is there a risk, by your assessment of this decision by the disciplinary committee, of ultimately fueling further division and factionalism in the ANC?
No. I don't think it will. I think we came out of the 55th National Conference saying that we should unite the organization. And there is no one individual within the ANC who will say that I support an individual who transgress ANC policies, and I'd rather be fired because of him. No sane individual of the African National Congress will say so. Especially a person who will say that I've got the right to expel the president of the ANC. It cannot happen anyway. You did not join the organization because of an individual. You joined the organization because you are committed to transform people's lives in the country itself, not about the individual. You're committed to the values and the principles of the organization. And so it won't bring about any factions with the organization. None. That's what we believe in. That is why we, as as the veterans, we are saying that we're an inclusive organization. We want to bring everybody into the Veterans League, every individual who subscribes to the values and principles of the organization, not of an individual.
And you and I would both expect, I think, and many other people who followed this story would likely anticipate that the analysis or the reading of this decision by the disciplinary committee, by some even in the ANC, who again would have stood with Magashule, will read this as a purge. They've already verbalized this, a purge of anyone who's anti-Ramaphosa or pro-Zuma. How then does the party begin to mend that? Because it is a narrative that exists within the organization.
No. In as far as we're concerned, this is not a purge. This is a proper disciplinary process that went through. It's a DC which is impartial, and that disciplinary committee is led by 6 veterans and 4 NEC members. And so those veterans are impartial. We don't have any right to take sides. We look at how do we make sure that we protect this organization? How do we make sure that we bring back its values and principles to society? How do we make sure that this organization wins back the confidence of society? And so I'm saying that comrades who sit in that disciplinary committee, they are not factional at all. They look at the evidence that is brought in front of them, and some of them are experienced, committed lawyers of the African National Congress and veterans of the ANC. And so no one will accuse the disciplinary committee of being factional. None. No one has evidence to that effect. And so we as veterans, we are convinced and we know very well that no individual, sane individual, will say this is a factional disciplinary committee. This is a disciplinary committee that had an axe to grind with the former SG. He is our former SG. He was elected at the 54th conference. We elected him. And so we had to rally behind him. But now, if he transgresses the rules of the organization, there's nothing that we can do. It's him as an individual who did that. He did not do it on behalf of any other people. If he did it on behalf of other people, then it's tough luck on their side.
Does the Veterans League, though, still see Ace Magashule, even with this transgression, as you term it, as a comrade?
Well, we see him as a South African. If he says that he's committed to the values and principles of the ANC, we accept it. But immediately when he takes a different stance against our constitutional values, we don't support that. We won't support anything that is there to undermine the integrity and dignity of the African National Congress. With that, we won't do. But if he says that I support and I subscribe to the values and principles of the organization, he's still our comrade. But if he says no, then he'll be a friend of ours, but not a comrade in arms who's committed to rebuild this organization and the country itself.
So if then he were to say in the 7 days that he reaffirms his commitment to the values and principles of the ANC, would that be sufficient reason to spare him expulsion by your account?
Yeah, but now he has transgressed the ANC's constitution, has been found guilty, then he must appeal. We have an appeals committee within the ANC, which he has the right to do so. He can appeal, and it depends on what the appeal will say. And so that is why I'm saying we are a democratic organization. We have a constitution that subscribes to the Constitution of South Africa, which is democratic. And so it's up to him. Let him appeal. Let the disciplinary committee of appeal look at the matter of his appeal. And if he shows remorse, it's up to him. Maybe, I don't know.
How would you measure remorse, Mr. Zikalala? What would he have to do that you as the Veterans League would look at and say, well, he has shown remorse and therefore should not be kicked out of the organization?
He should have done that long ago. During his trial, even when he immediately got suspended, he kept on saying that he has the authority to expel the president. He does not have any authority. That is not there in the constitution of the ANC. He kept on saying so. But he did not show any remorse. But now if he goes to an appeals committee and he shows remorse, it's up to how the appeals committee will look at it. I'm not part of that. But I'm saying that it's up to him to do so. But it's up to him, and it's up to the disciplinary committee of appeals that will have to look at the merits of it and look at how they come out with conclusion of how to accept his evidence to say that he's appealing, is remorseful. It's up to them. But in as far as we're concerned, that he transgressed the African National Constitution.
How much influence do you think he still has in the organization? How much sway, how much influence, how much power?
I didn't hear that question.
My question to you is how much sway, influence, power, perhaps, do you think Ace Magashule still wields within the organization? He's now former SG, but is he still as influential?
Well, I don't know about influential, because influential is that you have to be a member of a branch, and you have to make sure that the branch supports you. But when we went to the Newzroom conference, he was not nominated or was a branch delegate. And so I can't measure his support, but measure a person's support by the number of branches that nominated him to go to conference. And so that is why he could not enter the conference, because he was not nominated by any of the branches, if I understood it very well.
Snuki Zikalala, ANC Veterans League convener, good to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time tonight, speaking to us about a decision by the ANC's disciplinary committee today, giving Ace Magashule 7 days to give reasons why he should not be expelled over comments, well, not comments, but an action that he took, trying to unilaterally suspend the party's president, Cyril Ramaphosa, not too long ago. And now, 7 days, he's been given a week, basically, to convince the party that he should be allowed to stay.